Hey guys, Randy here, and welcome aboard the Seabee Traveler Channel. I hope you're having a better day than those poor people that had that fire first thing in the morning like that. Boy, I hope everybody's okay. So today I wanted to head out to it's a really small town called Hayden, Arizona. It's about 90 miles southeast of the Phoenix area, and it was founded in like 1912 or 1907. It kind of, the information varies a little bit, but it was mainly built as a company town to support the Ray mine, the Ray copper mine, and also they built a smelter for the copper, and this town was helped to support that as well. Man, have you been paying attention to the scenery? Because this is a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. The sun came up maybe 15, 20 minutes ago, and it is hitting these mountains and hills just perfectly. Look at that. That's like a painting almost. And that high thin cloud up there helps diffuse some of that harsh sunlight. So man, yeah, this is beautiful this time of the day. Even if it's a barren landscape like this, it can be so beautiful. But anyways, there's a couple little stops we're going to make on the way to Hayden. There's Ray is an open pit mine. Thought we'd stop and take a quick look at that. I just can't get over how pretty this is right here with that sun like that. And also, there's a place called Kearny that has a pretty cool bridge that I wanted to stop and take a look at. I've seen that bridge a couple times on maps, but I've never stopped by to take a look at it. So it's always intrigued me. So I'm right by it, so I thought I might as well just stop by, see what it's all about. I've heard that it's a really beautiful little place to just to visit. Look at that scenery, man.
I met a girl there in the bright side of a dream. Sweet Arizona, sweet as I had ever seen.
Just up the road is the Ray mine. It's an open pit copper mine. It was started back in 1880. It didn't start out as an open pit mine. It just eventually turned into one so that they could get more of the ore out that way. So this is a little pull off that you can check this place out. Mixed with all this beautiful scenery, birds flying everywhere, cactus are starting to bloom. And it's a little hazy today. There's lots of dust in the air. But you can see way off in the distance, road going up into the mountains, more mining back there. Boy, there's some desolate land out there. Wow. I've never actually stopped and looked at this. I like how they just leveled the top of that hill right there. Or maybe that's added to from everything they've removed from the other side. They're just piling it up over here. Maybe that's what they're doing. That makes more sense. Just think over the years how much dirt has been moved. And it's right next to this beautiful scene right here. This looked like a good spot to get the drone out and get an aerial view of the Ray mine. Just look how vast it is. It's like 53,000 acres this mine covers. And that's off in the direction that we came from. No, that's actually out into the mine operations. And just look, it just looks so beautiful right there. And the actual town, the old town of Ray, was consumed by the mine as they kept digging. And that's the direction that we came in on with that overlook that we stopped at. They used to have a similar overlook, kind of like the one up in Morenci, but it's temporarily closed, it says. And you also used to be able to take a tour of the mine. I'm not sure if you can still do that or not. I didn't look into it. But yeah, I saw that you used to be able to anyways. So just up here somewhere, I got to try and find the turnoff, is the road to that Kearny bridge. And that bridge is actually the road that will take you over to, it's the Florence Kelvin Highway. And that will take you back over to the boulders, which I did a video on where I was test riding my new e-bike. So that road continues on down to the boulders. That highway, it's a shortcut between Hayden and Winkleman down to Florence, but it's not paved all the way. I know they're improving it as much as they can, and with the population growth, they're starting to realize that it needs to be paved. And I have seen crews out there that have been extending the pavement some. They had a wildfire that closed the main highway, so that Florence Kelvin Highway was the detour that they sent people on to get around that. So yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. I can't wait for them to get that finished up. Alright, so here is our turnoff. I think it's just a little ways down this road, not too far at all. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see this, especially this early in the morning. It was built in 1916, and it's not serviceable anymore, so they had to build a newer bridge right next to it, and it crosses the Gila River, which in this part of town, you can see it's getting a little bit greener now. In this part of the town, in this part of the country, it'll be lined with some lush green trees. Well, here it is. This is the new bridge we're crossing, and you can see how all these trees growing around right by the riverbanks. And if you continue down this road that we're on, this is the Florence Kelvin Highway, and about 30 miles down to the Florence area. We're going to take a left here to get down to the old bridge. Yeah, this is going to be kind of neat. I've been wanting to see, I like old bridges. I like checking into it. That road on the right must have been the original road that took you down to the bridge. Oh, cool. Wow. Yeah, look how green it is down here. Which means there's probably some bugs too, flying insects and stuff. But anyways, let me get parked and we will take a little stroll across the bridge. Well, my first impression of the bridge itself is it looks like a bridge. Nothing totally special about it. But what I'm more interested in, it is gorgeous down here. Man, lots of lush greenery, the river's running down below it, and you can probably hear all the birds, the wildlife that's under here. What's nice, what I've noticed is, especially this time of the day, there's this new bridge. It's perfect shade on this bridge, and there's no sun on you. It's nice and cool, especially in the summer, earlier morning, probably about 7 o'clock in the morning. But look at this. You don't see this really too often in the southwest or southeast Arizona. Man, look at there are so many little sparrows, probably have their nest up in the bridges. Beautiful sound this early in the morning. And here's the other side. If I was to put this down like right here, you wouldn't be able to tell if this was Arkansas or Arizona. So lush right here along this river. A lot of salt cedars. Well, I'm glad I stopped by here. It's a nice little pit stop, rest area. For me to rest anyways. Wow, just can't, this is just so beautiful right here. And the sun is hitting these trees just right. Just looks so lush. And then the desert mountains off in the background. It's a nice little picture. Might have to get that. All right, well, I think it's time to head back to the truck. Head on our way towards our final destination for today.
We're happy to share whatever we've got.
Boy, just sitting here listening to all the birds and this lush greenery, it's hard to tell right now if I'm in somewhere in a rainforest. Well, if you're ever near Kearny, Arizona, early in the morning, and you need a place to stop and rest, enjoy the atmosphere and scenery here under this bridge, this is definitely a cool place to come. This is neat. And then off in the distance you can see the Ray mine operation. It's not too far from there. All right, I got sidetracked. Let's get back to the truck.
Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona.
All right, that bridge was cool. I really liked that. Yeah, I'm not kidding. If you have a chance to get down there, go check that out. But we're passing through a small town of Kearny, and we're not too far away from Hayden. But yeah, this is just a real small town. It was established, looked like in 1958. So just up here on the right in Kearny, I see a caboose and what looks like some storyboards. Oh yeah, this might be interesting. Let's stop and take a quick look, see what we can find here. Yeah, look at that, that's kind of neat. You can see the storyboards. So I'm just going to get turned around here and then get parked, stretch our legs a little bit, check out the storyboards. Oh, and across the street is a monument. We'll go check that out too. I wish they just don't put these anymore. I guess there's no use for them anymore, but let's take a look at the storyboard. Copper Basin Railway, town of Kearny, building a railroad. 1901, 95-mile line was leased. Huh. Mining history. In the early 1870s, they had to bring everything in by wagon back then. Oh, man. Oh, this is cool. By 1948, Ray Mine was judged to be worthless. And then down here it's saying 1986, a substantial ore reserve, which allowed them to expand. So they must have found something else in there to keep them going. Historic setting. The earliest inhabitants, the Hohokam people. Earliest Europeans, Spanish, trappers, military, 1846, war with Mexico, gold rush, settling the region, ranching and farming. And then Kearny's establishment resulted from the open pit operation. Wow. Those are so neat to see. Got some ore carts. They got a little step ladder so we can walk up here. It's locked, but somebody conveniently You ever wondered what the inside of a caboose looks like? It's pretty dark in there. Wow, that's neat. I've never seen inside of a caboose before, I don't believe. How neat is that? Can't read what that says. Well, that's neat. This is Kearny. Not much here, is there? All right, so here is a cool little, I want to read what this is. Restored by Robert Anderson in 2010. Wow, that is, locomotive is a gift to the citizens of Kearny by the Kennecott Copper Corporation. Compressed air supplied from lines in the mine. A Porter air locomotive. Very interesting. Look at that. How cool is that? It's flat on top. It's definitely pitted throughout the years. $1925. That's what that medallion says. All right, let's go take a look at this monument. Kearny, Arizona. Brevet Major General, U.S. Army, Stephen Watts Kearny. Ah, so it was named after a Major General in the Army. At the outbreak of the Mexican War in 1846, President Polk called Colonel Kearny to organize the so-called Army of the West, and it led to the Santa Fe and thence to secure California. Wow. Amazing. He was 1794 to 1848. So he only lived a couple years after the Mexican War. Wow, that's interesting. See, it's always neat to stop at these little places, find little tidbits of history like this. All right, head back to the truck. And it's onward and upward.
Singing, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona,
All right, so we're coming up on Hayden. The turns up here, you can see a stack up there. That's cool from the smelter. Here we are. This is, like I said before, it's a tiny little town that was founded in probably around 1909. You know what? I'm not sure if that was my turn or not. Here's another. They have these conveyors running from the tailings over to the smelter, crossing the road here. Looks like they had an older one there that it's an old one that I guess they took it down so it didn't fall. Here's another one. Yeah, so these conveyors, they've just not using them, so they cut them so they're not crossing the road. Well, I think that was just my turn. I was sidetracked by the conveyor. So I blinked and I missed it. So let me get up here. I'll turn around real quick and we will head into town. All right, here we go. The town of Hayden. I have never been here, so this is going to be really interesting to me. I have read a little bit of history about it, and it is like a lot of older Arizona towns that depend on the mining operations, and when the mine isn't doing well, the town isn't going to do well. So yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what it looks like in person, and yeah, I can't wait to check this out. Boy, you can see how big that hill is, the tailings from all the years. And that's heading south towards Winkleman, and you can get to Tucson that way. Downtown Hayden and the smelter. Couple stacks there. Those things are tall. Check out that pond. Is probably for cooling or something. So imagine it's not good for swimming, but it looks pretty. And it's so wide open and so vast out here. That is heading back towards the Ray mine and also Kearny. Then we're back at the tailings. See how big that is. They're starting a huge mountain there. A lot of years to build that thing up. All right, so I thought we would just take a quick drive to kind of get a lay of the land. So senior center here. Well, that looks pretty nice. Do you have those smelter stacks? They're so dominant in the background here. I don't know. So far, it looks really nice right here. Palm trees, oleanders. It's not too bad on this street here. I see. Oh, here's some abandoned housing. Oh, and here's the fire department. All right, let's take this looks like it's downtown a little bit, so let's take a left here. What are those? Is that like antenna? Those discs? Oh yeah, this is the older part of town, you can tell. A lot more abandoned stuff. Oh, that's a cool church. Hayden Police Department. That looks neat. I like those columns there. Gives you that 50s feel for sure. Here's another abandoned. I'd heard that there's a lot of abandoned buildings here. And this place had a fire. Some sort of, I'm not sure what that was. Warehouse, some sort. Oh, and there's another building with a fire. Wow. That looks cool though. I'm gonna get a picture of that. That Santa Fe style, that looks really neat. And yeah, this looks like it was the old jail. It's that big old steel door. I'm gonna stop up here and come back and take a walk around that, see what I can find out. Love places like that. Well, I just had a pleasant conversation with the police, and he was letting me know that this was the old jail. I kind of thought it was, but yeah, now he just confirmed it. Man, it's all locked up, but I could not imagine. Look at that old light up there. Rebar's starting to pop out up there. Well, at some point they had a air conditioning unit. And also there's some little tiny wires running too. It's all concrete. Some of the wiring. This stuff is interesting to me. It's so interesting. Now I see where the concrete's popping out and there's some rusty metal. Yeah, I love old towns like this. There's a lot of those wedges right there. I wonder if that's what they use to into the foundation, kind of keep it all in place, maybe. I love this door. I'm gonna have to get a picture of this for sure. And then he said this was the fire department. Kind of used for storage now for underground utility stuff, but yeah. Let's take a look at this. Some sort of old antenna up there. Oh. Still window unit, AC there. Quite a few windows. I imagine town this small didn't have too much problems, probably mostly just people drinking a little bit too much. I like this old building right here too. Foundation. Not sure if I can go up there, I'll try. Like the decorative rock on the chimney. wonder what this was. Maybe like some sort of cellar. Well, let's go up top and see what we can see. These are people's houses over here. Neat. Little foundation. They left some firewood. This is neat. Maybe I'll try and get a picture of that old chimney with that old police station, or the old jail there. Cool. It's always kind of neat to see retaining walls, how they were built. And this one looks like it might have a little planter area up top, maybe. It's tiered. That's cool. Looks like it's starting to push out a little bit though. Yeah, it's all starting to come apart. I saw these houses looked abandoned, so I wanted to see. This one, no trespassing, kept out. Yeah, and what I saw was this old abandoned car here. Looks like the wall came down on this one. Check that out. That was adobe too. Look at that. Adobe with plaster lath. Huh. Shed back there's probably. Wow. That's neat. Then I found this fixer-upper if you're interested in getting a car. Original miles. Little interior work needed. I was going to look at this shed. Yeah, that looks cool. Well, I was talking to the police officer from the Hayden Police Department, and he was saying that there are a lot of these places like this, but when the mine shut down, a lot of the residents left, but the mine's coming back. He said it's up to about 60% now, and when it gets 100%, people start moving back. Economy will be a little bit better for them, and then they'll make a big comeback, which I'm in favor of. That's neat right there. That's so cool looking. I don't know about you, but I like finding places like this. They have a lot of history. And sometimes when town gets down on their luck, it starts looking like a little bit of a ghost town, but there are hopes that that Hayden's gonna make a comeback here as soon as that mine gets fully operational. But that's a story of Arizona. Mine goes down, towns follow. Throughout Arizona's history, we've seen a lot of that. All right, this is Hayden Avenue. So this is downtown. There is only one, I think I mentioned this before, but there's only one building here that's inhabited, and that is the police station. It's Casa Rivera. That was the only restaurant in town, and they burned down too. I asked the police officer about all the fires or the burned buildings, and he said that they had an arson problem, but they've got it handled. So yeah, I'm gonna get parked and do some little walking around here. This is kind of Main Street, little walk down Main Street of Hayden. Casa Rivera. Yeah, there's a lot of old, you can see, hopefully the glare's not in the way. The stack, the smelter up there. And I can hear it humming away up there. And there's a second one up against the mountains over there. It's a cool looking, it's like an old saloon or something. And then I like this. They painted over what the sign was. I'll come back here, we can get a better. It definitely reminds me of Hayden RX. Like maybe it's a drugstore, maybe? If you know what this was, if you ever lived here, I'd be very interested to know. It's a cool building. It's like a little dockyard here. Oh, and they even have a entry to get down to the basement area. So yeah, if you ever lived here, I'd be real interested to know about some of this. I'm always amazed at some of the comments I get. People have lived in these small towns when they were kids, or yeah, they knew somebody that lived here. So if you have any information, don't be shy. Leave a comment. Let the community know. I see a memorial. We're gonna go check that out. Public library. Wow, very pretty over here. All taken care of. Let's go take a quick look at this memorial before we head back down to some more of the main street. It's kind of hot. I wonder why there's nobody here yet. Wow, that is dedicated to Ray Consolidated by the Ray Consolidated Copper Company. Citizens of Hayden, Arizona who offered their lives in defense of humanity. Wow. We have fought for the things which we have always carried nearest our hearts, for democracy, to the right to those who submit authority have a voice in their own governments. 1914 to 1918. So this is World War I. How cool is that? Nice job, Hayden. I like that. All right, I want to go walk down. I'm gonna walk back towards the truck and then go a little bit farther down the street. They have a real neat little police station. Well, I'll try and go through the middle, but this is the definition of like an old West mining town. Definitely has that vibe. Or 1900s. I do like that old building right there on that corner. That's that corner post column. And then we have this old grammar school. Been remodeled at some point, but they still have this old concrete columns. It looks like they may have had something up on top of them. Lights or something maybe? Something decorative. A wrought iron fence. Rusty. Perfect. I love that. Real authentic feel. Uh-oh. Animal control. All right. I don't see a date anywhere. Looks like the gate made us, the posts are closing in on each other. And that's a neat little picture right there. Oh, look at this. Nice little off-road buggy. Huh. And check, look at the Hayden Police Department. How cool is that? Oh man, I love it. How neat is that? There's another old building. I kind of miss the days, the buildings that had like the inset where the door is. Kind of like that. This definitely has this neat feel. And there's our police friend again, making his rounds. Neat. And it's a neat church here too. See if I can see what it says. Maybe that was just Hayden United Methodist Church. I see the same thing, adobe with plaster on it. Wow. That is cool. An old swamp cooler back there. I see a couple of swamp coolers. Neat. You have to get my camera and get a couple pictures of this too. I like these old lights on over the door. I just imagine people back in the day coming, just walking up these stairs. Oh, and they even had the something to clean your boots off. Like those two lights above the door there. All right, well, let's see what else we can find. There's the new fire station. Looking good. Let's see what else we can find. I'm getting hungry. Walk by this police station again. It's almost like it's on the brink of Ghost Town, but Gila Furniture and Appliances. And these are all old adobe. Looks like they're adobe with plaster. I don't know, maybe this one's concrete. Yeah, this is concrete up here. I thought I saw adobe bricks, but it was just chipped away concrete. Oh, there's an old sign up there, post. Oh, this was the old post office. Post office, Hayden, Arizona. That's what that sign up on the roof says, that wooden sign. Oh, cool. Yeah, I definitely have to get some pictures here. Definitely. All right. And here's an old burned down place. Some basement. Wow, fire really took this one down. Wow. Looks like it's mostly just brickwork. Was it fire brick? Is that what they call that? Ah, that's so neat. All right. Well, that was neat walking around especially this part of town. It's just too bad that it's seen its better days. But personally, I kind of like walking around places like this. Oh, there's our police officer friend washing his windows. He was a nice guy. You have another view of that church as we're heading out of town. Yeah, I heard about a restaurant I want to go try out. Now, I know Hayden has had its problems. It had some problems with the environment, and they actually, the company that owned this was being threatened, so they had to do a lot of cleanup. Sometimes they took down a whole lot and dug out the dirt that was contaminated, and then they did a lot of cleanup to avoid being sued by the Environmental Protection Agency. And yeah, with the economic decline, but still, like I said before, they're hoping that this town will come back, and I really do hope that it does. At least maybe they can get some history, some museums to show some of the history on it. I couldn't find any of that. And a lot of the buildings you couldn't walk in because they were condemned and private property, so there were some squatters in places that I noticed. So yeah, a little bit sketchy walking around inside of them. But anyways, yeah, we're just gonna make a left here and head towards Winkleman, which is where that restaurant's gonna be. All right, so just about a mile down the road, almost to Winkleman, is Maria's restaurant. And I think it's the only place you can eat around here now that other restaurant closed down. But it is supposedly really good Mexican, and I am starving. I haven't ate a little bit for breakfast. It's past lunchtime, so I wanted to stop in, check it out, and see if it does live up to its reputation.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave.
We got Maria's restaurant, open daily, 7 to 8. And here's your beverages, coffee, hot tea, sweet tea, iced tea, Pepsis. And to eat, we have some combos, burgers and sandwiches, burros. Let's see what kind of burros we got here. Taco and enchiladas. There's a kids menu. Salads. Sounds good, actually. Fries, baskets, and more. Sides and extras. Hi, thank you. And there's my sweet iced tea and water, yummy water. Here we go. I went with the chicken enchilada. I'm starving, can't wait to dig in. I'll let you know how it goes. Oh man, that was good. You could tell. Yeah, that was really good. And I don't even feel bad about eating that. Oh boy.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have
Iced
to
tea.
leave. I'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to.
Yes, please.
We're happy to share whatever we've got.
It was great. That was, really like that.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Glad you get up. There you go.
Thank you.
Trust you. Have a good one.
We'll see ya. Well, that was Maria's. Yeah, that enchilada was really good. And the person I talked to said they've had just about one of everything in here, and it was all, he said everything is good. So anyways, if you're in, this is between Hayden and Winkleman. So if you're ever in this part of the country, stop in at Maria's. Oh man, I am still full. We're heading up Highway 77, which will take you up over Pinal Pass, and then you can get to Globe that way, or you can make a right and head down to the San Carlos Reservoir. But yeah, this road follows the Gila River, and there's a couple campgrounds that are on BLM land that I wanted to just check out and see if maybe if they'd be good places to camp. It's a little bit warm now, so I don't imagine there's going to be a lot of people, but sometimes you never know. The one place I had in mind was called Christmas. It's a recreation site, but there's also another one, Riverside or Lakeside, something like that. But I'm going to check out this Christmas site and then maybe take a little drive down to the river and see what it's like on the camping spots. All right, Christmas site. It's a recreation area. This is BLM land. So here's the BLM rules. Camping is allowed for up to 14 days. You have to move someplace at least 25 miles away after 14 days. All right. Gila River Recreation Area. All right, so free camping out here. But where I'm trying to get, hopefully, is up in those mountains somewhere. Look, the saguaros, they're starting to bloom. That's kind of a neat picture right there with that saguaro coming out of those mesquite trees. Let me get my camera out. Boy, driving down here kind of reminds me of driving down the Colorado River. We used to go down there when we lived in Quartzsite, driving down. There's a lot of salt cedars and mesquites, stuff like that. It kind of has that vibe. Oh, there's somebody staying there. But it also looks like there might be some cattle grazing down here too. I don't know. I thought I saw a little present left by some cows. Maybe it's horse. I don't know. Alright, well this looks like maybe the end of the road. I'm going to get out and see if I can't find a little trail down to the river. See what that looks like. I came down just a second ago and found this access to this beach, or the shoreline of the Gila River. So I thought, oh, this is really nice. Maybe I'll go back and get my camera so I can film it. But yeah, well, it's running pretty quick, isn't it? So yeah, that's upriver, of course. It's winding through the valley. And this way, a little bit of rapids. It's nice and peaceful just sitting here listening to that. Well, I thought this would be a good time to interrupt this nice peaceful scene to to remind you guys to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, so you can help the channel grow and help me get out and do more stuff like this. Your support really does help me out, so I appreciate that. Cool little campgrounds here along the Gila River. So I didn't know these were here either. But I'm gonna grab a little something to eat, and I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna sign off, and just remember, never say goodbye, always see you later.